It's a good question. When it comes down to baby teeth, why do they exist in the first place? We got two sets of teeth. They're called deciduous teeth, a lot like deciduous plants in the forest, that they lose their leaves and then they come back during the springtime. But why is it that kids have this set of teeth? Why can't those teeth just grow in and become bigger teeth like Pokemon and evolve, The reason is because a kid's mouth is too small for our teeth. The reason is because when we're evolving, when we're in our baby years, our entire skeleton is completely changing, like literally year by year, let alone month by month. Like the fact that kids are born without the ability to walk is a testament to their lack of bone structure and a lack of muscular structure, also a lack of coordination. All of that stuff applies to our face and our mouths as well. So a kid needs to learn how to chew, right? The first teeth to come in are our lower incisors and then our upper incisors, and around that time our first premolar molars come in, and we then have to figure out how to maneuver, how to chew. And instead of swallowing an entire piece of food and choking on it, we actually need to figure out what is required to chew. There's a lot of also important things to realize about sleeping practices and how if a tongue is tied, this little thing down there that shows the tongue, if that's too small, it doesn't give the tongue space to actually go to the palate of the mouth. The palate is kind of the top part that you can lick when you, that part. If the tongue doesn't rest up there constantly, then our palate actually doesn't expand at the rate that it needs to expand. It actually limits the amount of breathing that we can do. There's all these crazy studies and all of these honestly really, really substantial things that we need to think about. With Bright Smiles in particular, as soon as I get past the whole teaching people nutrition and brushing, it's going to go into airway. It's going to go into making sure that our kids are actually being taken care of in their development of their mouth and their facial structure. It makes a drastic impact on people's lives. I mean, I was at Nine Figure Boardroom, and Brandon Dawson, who's like this guy that makes billions of dollars, was talking about how he would pay anything for someone to solve his sleep problems. It's a drastic thing that we need to look out for. So the deciduous teeth for kids in general, the reason that we can't keep them is, first of all, we don't have enough space for the big boys and girls that we have in our mouth, or them, whatever. And we also, frankly speaking, the teeth are just weaker because they're made in a completely different structure. So primary teeth can get cavities a lot quicker. It is why you shouldn't put your kid to bed with a bottle and get them to change their eating habits as quickly as possible. They also have just completely different shapes, and they have completely different eruption patterns. They erupt a lot faster. They're created a lot faster. They're created with different types of cells than our permanent teeth are. So there's drastic differences in our childhood. And I think, there's even been a lot of studies recently on how our adolescence actually lasts a lot longer than we used to think it does. It starts somewhere in middle school, but it actually ends in our early to late 20s. And that's how our brains develop and how our social understanding of ourselves develops. So there's a drastic amount of change that occurs in human beings in our first years as we pop out of the womb and we see the world. There's a lot of stuff we go through, and I think we as a society, as a community, need to have a deeper appreciation for the amount of physiological development that occurs in that period. And us as parents, and us as aunts and uncles or brothers or sisters, siblings, cousins, we should be looking out for those young ones and being like, hey, if this person's not sleeping very well, we should be vigilant of that. And if this person is not eating well, or if we see bruises on them, that shouldn't be there, we gotta watch out for our little ones. It's very, very important. So there's a drastic difference. Watch out for it. There's a reason for everything. There's a very good chance that if nature made it, it needs to be there. There's a very, very good chance that if nature made it, it needs to be there. Nature doesn't do things inefficiently. I don't know if you guys have figured this out, but just look around. There's no space in nature for inefficiency. Things just die a lot easier when they're not efficient, okay? This is Dr. Turab Rai from Franklin.Dental Care and Dentures, sitting outside my practice on this beautiful day. You guys take care of yourself, and I hope to see you guys around. And maybe you're watching me in the office. We actually started putting these videos up on the screen. I had my front desk come up with a YouTube playlist that has intermittently some videos mixed in. It has some music mixed in. So if you're ever at the office and you see this, cheers, man. What's up? Peace.